Are the single ladies, are the single ladies, now put your hands up. Literally, who has time to go on dates? Who are these people? How do they do it? How? Hey guys, it's Connie aka Noodlerella la 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 la. So before we get into this hoopla jamboree video, I have some very exciting news for you guys, which some of you probably know already, but I have gone and written a young adult book series. Yes, that is where I've been. I've written a whole first book. There's hopefully going to be 5 of them in total, 85,000 words. So this is where I've been. This is where I have been so active recently on social media, not just because I broke my leg, surprisingly. If you want to find out more about it, which I'm sure you do, you can click right here to a video I made about it on my vlog channel, which goes in depth about more of the book and the characters, etc. There's also links in the description box below, and yes, you know what? I'm going to link to where you can pre-order the book as well. That is just how generous I'm feeling. Okay though, so let's talk about being single, which I very much am, and have been for over 5 years. The only relationship I've ever been in lasted 6 months, and some people say that doesn't even count, so what can I say? So don't worry if you're like me and you're 22, approaching 23, and you've never been in a relationship, because that's just the way it is. I don't think there's anything wrong with being single. It has never occurred to me that it was an issue until recently when I was talking to someone and they were like, what? You're 22 and you've never been in like a long-term relationship? And I was like, no. Why does that matter? This world and people put way too much emphasis on the idea that you need to find the one, and that relationships and marriage are like the be-all and end-all. Thanks, Hollywood. I blame them. But I'm noticing a lot more people who are choosing singality, which is probably not a word, but I don't care. And I think that's great. Obviously, I think that's great because I do it too. So this is my personal 5 reasons why I think I'm single and why it's just never gonna work for me, this whole relationship thing that I see people do, and I'm like, bleh. Okay, so number 1, and this is the major one, this is the big one. I put my career and my passions so far above on the list of priorities. So if I put it in order, it would probably go something like this. Writing, that's my number 1, always. YouTube, my friends. And then relationships, if I was in a relationship, would probably be like right at the bottom, and they would just have to deal with that. But the thing is, I don't necessarily want someone to have to deal with that, because it would just be a whole thing of, hey, do you want to meet up today? And I'd be like, no, I want to finish this chapter. Soz. And then I can imagine them like, oh, well then I'll just come round, I'll bring a pizza, and I won't talk to them the entire time because I'll be like so engrossed in my work. And the friends I have accumulated, they understand this very well about me. They understand that my passions come first, way ahead of anything else, and they never get mad at me for it. And if somebody ever was like, oh, I feel like I never see you, you're like married to your work, I would be like, bye. Bye! You don't get it, you don't get me, and you're gone, bye. Number 2, and this very much links to number 1, I don't like feeling responsible for other people's happiness. And I know for some people that probably sounds very selfish, but this is my entire mantra in life. I don't want any other person, any of my friends, to feel they're responsible for me being happy, and I don't want to feel like I'm responsible for them being happy. You should be responsible for your own happiness. Don't rely on anyone else to make you happy. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable all the time. And that's a lot of pressure to put on someone. You might not realize it, but if you're expecting someone to be the source of your joy, that's a whole big bag of stuff to put on a person. So really, you should be finding your happiness from within. This is very much linked to thinking in the future. This whole idea of like, when this person is in love with me too, then I'm going to be happy. You should be finding it from within. Within. Advice. Okay, so number 3, and I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but getting married and having kids is just not that big of achievement for me in my life, personally. I don't look at marriage and children as this big finale, big accomplishment thing that I need to achieve in my life. I just don't care. And I think great if marriage and kids is the big thing that you want to do with your life, and that's the thing that you're striding for. That's great. We need lots of people like that in the world, but we also need lots of people who aren't like that, and I am definitely one of them. The only reason I would ever get married is so I could have a wedding. You can keep the marriage. Let's just have a wedding so I can wear a dress. Number 4, and I'm gonna have to just be honest with myself here because this is true. Number 4 is that I am just a bit lazy. Yeah, I think this is very much linked to number one, the fact that I put my career and my passions first. So it's very rare for me to actually get free time, and because of that, I kind of just want to spend it doing nothing. If I have a day off, I would so much rather spend it in bed all day watching Netflix or some anime or like eating junk food. That's kind of a dream for me. That's the ideal day off. And if I was suddenly in a relationship with someone, then I should be using my free time to spend with them, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so number 5, and it's probably a little unexpected. I just haven't found someone. I'm not actually completely opposed to the idea of relationships, regardless of how this video might seem. If I found the right person, I wouldn't be like, no, I don't believe in relationships, get away from me. I'm not silly. If I found the right person, great. If I found somebody who could accommodate to all these other 4 things I've mentioned, wonderful, but I'm not going to be holding out and thinking, oh, if only somebody would come along who just gets me, because I really don't care that much. So what I'm saying is, I'm not pursuing it, but if it happened, I would welcome it. So those are my 5 reasons that I'm going to admit that I'm single. There's probably a million reasons more. I would love to hear from you guys about whether you're single, or whether you thought you were always going to be single and then suddenly found the one. Or if you, like me, just do not care about relationships at all and it's just a non-event. And of course, one last reminder that I have finished writing a book and it's going to be available soon, so please go and pre-order it. I spent so much time and hard work on this book, and I've already started book 2, so I really hope everyone loves it. And that's about it. That's about all I have to say about that today. So what have we learnt today? We've learnt that Connie is single, probably forever. 2, she's written a book and it consumed her whole life and she worked really hard on it, so she really hopes that you guys love it very, very much. That would make her very happy. And 3, you guys are better than any relationship she could ever have, so why would she even want a relationship when she's got you guys, who are the greatest people ever? But we already knew that last bit, so. Okay, I'm gonna go and have some breakfast now because it's like stupid o'clock in the morning. Bye!